for this, I want to ask a question which you all need to think. Why the assessment? Why do we need to take assessments? Are the assessments conducted to assess how much have we succeeded as a teacher? Are the assessment being conducted? How much have the child learned to know? Are the assessment conducted whether the child has got the expected learning outcomes? First, we need to have a clarity. Today, the whole world, before the moment this now national education policy landed, and almost 6 months or 8, almost 10 months before, in the national conference, the chairperson of CBSE declared the 2023 examinations will be competency based. That means it is not just content. The shift is happening from content to competency. So when it is happening from content to competency, when we are looking at a competency-based assessment, our outlook should be how much has the child learned, whether the child's learning outcomes have been achieved or not. Then we have to go back. We should go to our lesson plan. In the lesson plan, did we write what are the expected learning outcomes? In the expected learning outcomes, did we mention what are all the competency building happens in this? And how are we building it? If we mentioned those two, then our assessment is to assess whether those competencies are built. If they have been built, very well and good. If they are not built, in which area I need to redo? So it is more for us. If it is more for us, then there are multiple ways of doing things. Many a time, each and every educationist, each and every academician, each and every teacher, each and every parent feels only if a child writes 4 pages answer with a pen and paper, then the child is intelligent. The child could do it. Otherwise, can't do, doesn't know. Actually, this is a wrong one. What is that we are assessing now? We are assessing the expected learning outcomes. So it is not whether the child has been able to write a theory. It is about whether the child has achieved the competencies and learning outcomes. So I can have an MCQ. And MCQs are very difficult to do it. And then if I am from a school where I have a tech savvy backup, my whole school is enabled with MS, my whole school is enabled with Google, my whole school is enabled with WebEx, my whole school is enabled with Google, whatever it is, then I can use multiple online modes. I can use Kahoot, I can use Padlet, I can use just Google Forms, I can use MS Forms, I can use Quizlets, and I can also use Mentimeters. I can just use one poll. Many things are there which I can use. Within no time, 20 minutes, I came to know how many children got the learning outcomes, how many did not come. But if my question paper is attaining to that particular objective, that means what should be there in my question paper? My question paper should be very objective oriented, that I taught this in the class with this target. Okay. So whether this target received or not, I should put questions to know with multiple choice. So I cannot say what is your name. I should ask very, very specific questions and which are very closely related answers so that the child thinks. And in answering these questions, the child's attitude and skill will come out. Normally, when you are all going for teacher trainings, they are told that the whole learning should be cognitive, assertive, and psychomotor. Am I right? The whole learning is about cognitive, assertive, psychomotor, head, heart, and hand. That is knowledge, attitude, skill. Okay, so our assessment should also be for knowledge, attitude, and skill. We cannot leave any area. So we can make it 10 questions of MCQ, asking all the 3. You can use any of these forms. Within 20 minutes, your answer is ready. We have to make the child, whether the child is having all the apps or no, all the gadgets and no gadgets, as a self-learner. The child should be a responsible learner. The child should be made get into the self-assessment mode, because we are not there with the child. We should trust the child. So before trusting the child, before making him into self-assessment, we have to strengthen the child for self-assessment. Then again, I will go back to my lesson plan. In my lesson plan, one of the objectives and learning outcome is to make the child learn the self-assessment schemes, how to assess his or her learning outcomes. Once I do this, then I'll be able to do that. Means when I'm teaching itself, I am making a child understand how to self-assess. If at all this is not a live session, and if it is some session where I am there with you, that it is not in a webinar mode, and if it is in a classroom mode, I would have taken a small activity with all of you to know that how you can self-assess. Whether we are able to self-assess. If we ask a question, how do you feel now? We all think. We wait for someone else to answer. If they say good, then we will also put good, 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 good. If someone says bad, then we will think and we'll say, okay. Why? We ourselves are not able to assess our own moods, our own feelings. So first we should do self-assessment as a teacher. Then we will tell them these are all the areas that you need to assess, because I learned what is self-assessment. Now I'm teaching you all how is self-assessment. A teacher's role is this. Then make the child self-assess. Tomorrow come back and tell him that when he comes back and he says, ma'am, out of your 10 questions you gave, I could answer only 5. Clap for him. Love him. Tell him that, wow, I love you better. For what? First thing is the genuinity, the sanctity, and the purity, and the child has learned to self-assess. We need to do this now. This is the right time, darlings.